And yeah, I don't know. So you then play the guitar for all of your tracks?
There are a few, like I may use like the odd sample, but then I have played like guitar on. I'm trying to think of, like, I've got quite a few new ones coming out actually that I've been using like a lot less samples on. I kind of want to stray from it if I can. I've got a bit of guitar on that, and stuff like piano, like, you know, like elevator music, like I play piano on that and stuff. But I probably wouldn't consider myself like a guitarist, pianist. It's kind of more of a dabble, but I would say I'm a drummer. So I
feel that.
Yeah,
you're both drummers.
I like calling myself a drummer and nothing else.
Yeah,
even though I play other instruments, I'm like, no, I'm a drummer first and foremost.
First and foremost.
Yeah. Then the other stuff.
Yeah, I agree, because I try my absolute best. Like, one thing I always really like to do on tracks is bass. Like, I just think bass is just, because it just works with the drums, it can really drive a track, I think.
Oh yeah.
And I try my best to always do the bass on songs. So maybe next I would say I'm a bit of a bassist at times, but yeah, it's always a drummer first and foremost.
Yeah. For real.
It's like when you do your own music, you have to do all these instruments. I mean, if you have the taste and you have like the musical guidance, you can do a lot, because you can just find the right notes and then find a rhythm, and because you're a drummer, like rhythm comes super easily to you, and you know what works and when it's in time and when it's not.
Yeah, the definitely helps with that. I think, you know, scales wise, like sometimes I have to look up like notes in the key. Like, you know?
Oh yeah.
But in terms of rhythm, like that's just a natural thing. I think when you're a drummer, you can kind of just tell what fits, what doesn't. So I'm very picky with the rhythmic parts. I'd say.
I feel that.
do you add a lot of do you like to add a lot of percussion, or just like super like keep it drum simple? Or?
Sometimes it can depend really. There was a few songs, like I would say, like Chapter 1 and like Tiny Chocolate Shop, those kind of songs, they're quite mellow on the percussion, I'd say. There's there's drums, but not so much going around it. But definitely the more like Latin inspired ones. I have one coming out in May with the Acrylic label, and they're very into like Latin and stuff like that, and that's got a lot of nice percussion in it. So I'm kind of trying to go a bit more down that route, like just put loads of percussion in songs now, because I really like I don't know if have you heard of Mr. Hong and Pastels?
Yeah, a little bit, but I haven't heard too many songs by either of them.
I've seen the name, but yeah.
They have a EP together called Cafe PM, and like the percussion, if you listen to the instrumental of that, because there's actually vocals on it as well, like there's so much just like maracas, like tambourine, like all sorts of things. I've really been trying to experiment with more percussion in the newer releases.
Do you have any favorite percussions? Like,
ooh, you know what I really like? I really like a xylophone.
There you go.
I've got an like, to be fair, it's a program one, because I unfortunately don't own one, which is an absolute tragedy.
Oh my god, I would love to own a marimba, but those are, oh my god,
they're huge.
They're so expensive, and I have just hundreds of dollars of mallets, because I also went to music school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and so I've got all my gear just kind of like sitting in this bag, and I so want to use it, and I can't, because there's no marimbas available just like, you know, here, go rent one.
Randomly, yeah.
Yeah, that is not something you can kind of usually rent or even buy. Like, if I go into a music shop sometimes, like, unfortunately, like the biggest music shop in Manchester has recently just closed. Like, it was huge.
No.
Yeah, and it mustn't have survived the pandemic or something, and which is gutting. And it had everything, you know, like banjos, kazoos, like all sorts of things, like, and it's closed. So now I find it like near to impossible to even find like a snare hat.
Really?
Sometimes, yeah, because it just doesn't seem to be that many, especially because I go to university in a place called Leeds, and it is just like there's like one music shop in the whole of the city, and it was mostly guitars, and I'm like, where is all the percussion?
Yeah, I always find guitars get the most love.
Yeah, I would love to start a music shop. What a job. I can imagine that is just the coolest thing. Like,
Yeah. There's this guy on TikTok that owns I think it's a music shop or a guitar shop. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it's a music shop. And the guy records his TikToks like opening in the morning and just having to like restring a guitar, and like everything seems so calm, and like he's like super enjoying his job. So it would be a dream to have like a music shop, just be able to go in there, like be with the instruments all the time.
Also, I think I would definitely spread some musical propaganda and play like all of my own songs all the time.
Yeah.
Or
Like Shazam them. Yeah, listen to this. Have you heard this?
This is a great lo-fi producer they just got here, and it's getting your own stuff.
Yeah, it really inspires me. Like, I don't know about you, but yeah.
I think it will inspire your music. Like, are you starting it right now? Yeah, this is the one.
This is it.
Yeah. I think I'd maybe become a bit insufferable if I had a music.
And then they slowly start to realize that it's you, like.
Yeah, it's like Hannah Montana.
I love that. Yeah. Yeah, and you're not going by your given name, so they'll never know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you think hard enough about it, so I don't tend to advertise my middle name just because I say like my name's Mary Eden because it is, but my middle name is Rose, so like it's a flip, so it's like Rosia, like me.
Rosia.
Rosia.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. That's the name.
You're like answering all the questions that I was going to ask. It's the easiest interview ever.
And the exclamation point, like.
Yeah, the exclamation point was just, I just felt excited about it, I guess. Like it just seemed like
fair enough.
An exclamation, yeah. I think there's too little exclamation points in the world these days, so I kind of wanted to add
You wanted to add to the.
Yeah, I wanted to add to the punctuation of exclamation points in the world.
That's amazing.